Hey, yo, welcome back to the deep dive.
Oh,
Now, if you're tuning in, it's probably a safe bet you've already spent some real time with the TDMM.
mm-hmm.
Maybe even, tackled a few practice exams.
Right. You're likely past that initial beginner stage.
Exactly. And you might be wondering, okay, how do I really lock this down? How do I strategize for the RCDD exam?
Precisely. And that's what this deep dive is all about. It's specifically for you in that intermediate phase.
Uh-huh.
Our aim today, to give you a solid step-by-step game plan. Think of it like a blueprint, really.
A blueprint to refine things, get confident for the actual exam.
Yep. Build that genuine confidence.
Right. We know you're probably not after the basics anymore. So what we want to provide is a focused guide, something to give you clear direction.
Help you build a study system that actually works, that delivers results.
Yeah. We're planning on this being pretty concentrated, so let's just dive right in.
Okay.
First things first. Step one. You absolutely need to figure out where you are right now in this whole journey.
Yeah, let's unpack that a bit, because when you're sort of midway through your RCDD prep, it's super valuable to just pause. Take stock.
It really is.
I mean, the TDMM, it's huge, right? It's so easy to feel like you're just lost in it all.
Absolutely. Drowning in information sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe take a second, ask yourself some really direct questions.
Yeah.
Like, how many chapters have I actually truly worked through? Not just, skimmed,
Ugh.
but really gotten into.
Right. Engaged with it. And then think about the topics that feel good.
Uh-huh.
Where do you feel pretty solid? What could you say, explain to someone else right now?
And just as important, be honest about the flip side. What still feels fuzzy, those bits you kind of skip over, hoping they'll just click later.
We all have those. Identifying them now is, well, it's crucial.
So how do you keep track of all this?
Well, to get a clear picture, like a visual, we really recommend using some kind of tracking system.
Okay.
Could be super simple. A checklist for chapters done, or maybe a spreadsheet where you rate your confidence on different topics.
Or even like a color-coded calendar. Mark off study sessions or topics covered.
Exactly. Anything that gives you that visual overview.
It's kind of surprising how motivating just seeing your progress can be, isn't it?
It really is. Gives you that tangible feeling of, okay, I'm moving forward.
But maybe more importantly, it shines a bright light on those gaps, the stuff that needs more work.
And linking that back,
Yeah.
this whole evaluation thing, it's not about judging yourself.
No, not at all.
It's about getting clarity. Plain and simple. You can't study efficiently if you don't know what needs the focus.
Right. Makes sense. Awareness drives efficiency. Love that.
Pretty much.
Okay, so step one, assess where you are. Got it. Now let's talk about step two, because just studying more hours isn't always the answer, is it?
Oh, definitely not. We need to shift gears here. Focus on studying smarter.
Right. Smarter, not just longer.
Yeah. At this intermediate point, it's really important to move past just passive reading. You can't just read the TDMM over and over and expect it all to sink in. It's too much.
So true.
You need active engagement. That's key for real learning.
Okay, so what does active engagement look like? Got some methods?
We do. 3 powerful ones, actually. First up, try summarizing each chapter in your own words after you finish it.
Own words being key, right? Not just copying definitions.
Exactly. Explain the main ideas like you were teaching it to someone who knows nothing about it.
Why does that work so well?
Well, summarizing forces you to actually process the information, internalize it. It gets you past just memorizing words.
Okay.
If you can explain it clearly, simply, that shows you really understand it on a deeper level.
Makes sense.
What's next?
Method 2, flashcards. Can't beat them for certain things.
Yeah, classic for a reason. What kind of things work best?
Great for key terms,
Yeah.
definitions, obviously, but also those crucial BICSI standards. You need to know those cold.
So, like, keep them focused.
Definitely. And test yourself often. Don't just make them use them.
Good point. So
Yeah.
maybe not just bonding on a card, but like, right. More like, what are the main requirements for telecom bonding infrastructure per ANSYSHA 607DD? Something specific.
Okay, that forces recall.
Exactly. Flashcards are all about quick recall. Try hard to remember before you flip the card. That really strengthens the memory.
Got it. Method 3.
Mind maps. Creating mind maps.
Ah, interesting. How do those help here?
They help you see the connections, how different TDMM topics link together. It's not all isolated info, you know?
Right, like how pathway design impacts grounding.
Precisely. How pathways, Chapter 3 stuff, connect directly to grounding and bonding in Chapter 5 to avoid ground loops.
Or maybe fire stopping from Chapter 6 and how that relates to building codes.
Exactly that kind of thing. The RCDD exam will test your ability to pull info from different areas.
Okay.
Seeing those connections visually on a map, that can be a huge boost for understanding.
Cool. Any other, like, pro tips for this smarter study phase?
Yeah, here's one that sounds maybe a bit weird, but it works. Try teaching what you learned out loud.
Teaching it to who? The
Yeah.
mall.
Huh. Yeah, even if it's just to an empty room. Seriously. When you articulate the concepts, you quickly find out where you're solid and where. Maybe not so much.
Huh. I can see that. You have to structure it, explain it logically.
Exactly. It forces you to retrieve the info, organize it, reveals any hidden gaps in your knowledge. It's a great self-test.
Okay, good stuff.
Sure.
So we're assessing, we're studying smarter. Now, step 3. This is one people often put off, right? Practice questions.
Oh, yeah. Big time. It's kind of strange, actually. So many people feel like they have to master everything in the TDMM first.
Before they even look at a practice question.
Right. But these questions, they aren't just for testing at the end. They're a huge part of the learning process itself, especially now at this stage.
Totally agree. So our recommendation is...
Integrate timed practice sessions regularly into your study routine now.
And use good ones, right?
Yeah.
Like PICSI's official practice exams if you can get them.
Ideally, yes. Or find really reliable third-party ones that truly mimic the RCDD format and the question style. That's key.
Okay. And how should people approach these sessions? Just bang out 100 questions.
Probably not the best way. Be strategic. Aim for maybe focused sessions, 20 to 30 questions at a time.
Keeps it manageable, avoids burnout.
Exactly. Concentrated effort, but not overwhelming.
And you mentioned timed sessions.
Yeah.
That's non-negotiable.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Always use a timer. You have to get used to the clock ticking, that pressure you'll feel in the real exam.
Builds pacing, time management skills.
Yep, crucial skills.
But okay, just doing the questions isn't enough, is it?
Not even close. The real gold is in the review after the session.
Right.
Don't just look at what you got right or wrong. For every single question, you need to understand why.
Why the right answer is right.
And just as important, why the wrong answers are wrong. Dig into that.
Okay. That detailed analysis is where the deep learning happens.
Precisely. It helps you really grasp the principles, the logic, gets you past just memorizing facts towards actually understanding.
And doing this regularly helps you spot patterns too, right?
Oh, absolutely. You start seeing, okay, where am I consistently tripping up?
Like, is it the standards questions? Or maybe the calculations from, say, Chapter 11 on transmission?
Or definitions.
Yeah.
Terminology. You start to see types of questions that challenge you.
And knowing that, well, that's powerful.
It is. It basically gives you a personalized mini study plan. You know exactly which parts of the TDMM need more of your focus next time.
Okay, so practice questions aren't just tests. They're diagnostic tools.
Excellent way to put it. Very diagnostic.
Which leads nicely into step 4, because once you diagnose those weak areas, you got to deal with them.
Right. And finding those weak spots, that's not a failure. It's actually a really positive step.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, okay, target acquired. Now you know where to aim your efforts.
Exactly. Maybe you find Chapter 8, pathways and spaces just isn't sticking.
Or maybe it's the details of bonding and grounding in Chapter 5 that still feel a bit slippery.
Could be anything. Whatever your specific tough areas are, now's the time to give them focused attention. Double down.
Because ignoring them, hoping they won't come up much, that's a bad strategy.
It's a really common reason why people don't pass, honestly. It's not always a total lack of knowledge. Often, it's failing to master those trickier bits.
The nuanced stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that requires deeper understanding.
So what are some good ways to attack these tough topics then?
Well, first, go back to the source, the TDMM itself. Reread that chapter, but slowly, deliberately.
Okay.
Sometimes on the second or third read, things just click. Details you missed before.
What if reading it again isn't cutting it?
Then look for other explanations. There are tons of great resources out there, explainer videos, online training modules specifically on those tough topics.
So getting a different perspective can help.
Definitely. Seeing it visually or hearing it explained differently can make a big difference. Break down that complex info.
What about drawing stuff out? Does that help?
Oh, absolutely. Don't underestimate sketching things out, especially for visual concepts.
Like pathway layouts, grounding systems,
Yeah.
network diagrams.
Exactly. Drawing it yourself makes abstract ideas way more concrete,
Yeah.
easier to remember.
Okay, and then back to practice questions.
Yep. But targeted this time. Find practice questions that specifically drill down on that weak area. Pathways questions, bonding questions, fiber testing questions, whatever it is.
So the goal isn't just to, get familiar with the hard stuff.
No way! The
Ah,
goal is mastery. You want to get to the point where you feel genuinely confident answering questions on those topics.
right, because nailing those difficult sections is what really lifts your overall understanding.
Totally. Boosts your score, boosts your confidence going into the exam. It's a win-win.
Okay, makes total sense. So assess, study smart, practice consistently, tackle weak spots. We're building momentum. What's the final step? Step 5.
Right. As you get closer, as your preparation matures, there's one last really crucial piece: simulating the actual exam conditions.
Ah, the full mock exam experience.
Exactly. You know, it's interesting. The exam environment itself affects performance. It's not just what you know.
True. It's about handling the pressure, the timing, the focus.
For that sustained period, it's an endurance event in a way.
So the recommendation here is,
As you get nearer your exam date, start doing a full-length mock RCDD exam, maybe once a week.
and really simulate it, right? No cheating.
Absolutely. Strict timed conditions, just
Yeah.
like the real thing. No notes, no phone. Try to minimize distractions.
What's the main benefit of doing that torture session weekly?
Huh. Well, it builds mental stamina. Seriously. The RCDD is long. You need to train your brain to stay sharp for the whole duration.
Yeah, focus is key.
And it gives you a super realistic check on your pacing. Are you spending too long on certain sections? Do you need to speed up overall? You'll see it clearly.
Okay. But again, just taking the mock isn't the whole story.
Nope. Just like with the shorter practice sessions, the review after the mock exam is incredibly important, maybe even more so.
Because it covers everything.
Right. You need to analyze those results thoroughly, understand every mistake, identify any last lingering weak spots.
That post-mock review,
Yeah,
that's where huge learning gains can happen right at the end.
absolutely massive gains. It really helps cement everything and fine-tune your approach.
Okay, brilliant. That's a solid 5-step plan. Let's just quickly recap those key steps one more time. Keep people focused.
Sounds good. So step 1, evaluate. Know where you stand right now. Map out your study plan based on that.
Step 2, study smarter. Use active methods like summarizing, mind mapping, teaching it aloud. Really engage with it.
Step 3, practice questions are your friend. Do them regularly, timed, and analyze every single answer, right or wrong.
Step 4, double down on weak areas. Don't avoid the tough stuff. Tackle it head on until you master it.
And step 5, simulate. Weekly full mock exams under real conditions to build stamina and refine timing. Don't forget that crucial review after.
You know, when you're at this intermediate stage, you're really moving into an active phase. It's not just absorbing anymore.
Exactly. It becomes about strategy, consistency, and real focus. You're actively building your expertise now.
Yeah, you've laid the groundwork. Now it's about refining, targeting, and building that rock-solid confidence.
Comes from knowing you've prepared thoroughly and smartly.
So as you keep pushing forward on this RCDD path, keep these steps in mind. We really believe you can nail this.
Absolutely. And for anyone wanting more details or links, we'll pop some extra resources related to RCDD prep in the show notes.
Great idea. And definitely stay tuned because we've got an expert-level guide deep dive coming up soon to help you really polish things off before the exam.
Looking forward to that one. But for now, keep up the great work. Stay focused. You've definitely got this.